Hi everybody, and welcome back to another K Crochets tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to Tunisian Simple Stitch. As you can see, this stitch features unique vertical lines on the right side and this beautiful knit-like texture on the wrong side. I love this stitch and use it in many of my designs. I'll show them here and you can find the links to those patterns down below. But enough chit chat, let's go ahead and see what you're going to need to get started. To make a small swatch, all you're going to need is a crochet hook and some yarn. I am personally using an 8mm Denise interchangeable crochet hook with some Soft and Sleek Chunky by Yarn Bee, but feel free to use whatever yarn and hook that you have on hand for this tutorial. To begin, go ahead and make a slip knot and chain any number. I am personally going to chain 10. If you do not know how to make a slip knot or how to make a chain, I highly recommend clicking the link at the top right of this video, learning the basics, and then coming back. Once you're finished with your chain, you're going to be working into the second chain from the hook. Now I do want to mention that the first loop on your hook is going to count as the first stitch here and throughout. So again, to get started, go ahead and place that hook through the second chain. Yarn over and pull up a loop. You should have 2 loops on your hook. This is where Tunisian crochet is different than traditional crochet. Instead of continuing and finishing off that individual stitch, you are going to leave the loop on your crochet hook. You're then going to place your hook under the next chain, yarn over and pull up another loop. You should now have 3 loops on your hook, and that is all you're going to do for row 1. You're going to continue working across the chain, simply placing your hook through each individual chain, yarning over and pulling up a loop. The thing to remember in Tunisian crochet is your tension. You're going to need to be mindful of how far up you are pulling up each loop. I know the biggest mistake I made when I first learned Tunisian crochet was I was way too tight. The loops wouldn't even want to slide on the hook. So now I'm a loose hooker and Tunisian crochet is much more enjoyable. Alright, once you're finished working across your chain, it should look something like this. You should have the same number of loops as chains. Again, I have 10. The last thing we're going to do to finish row 1 is called a return pass. But before I show you how to do that, I want you to push as many loops toward the tip of your crochet hook, like so. You are then going to yarn over and pull through 1 loop. You're then going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that is the repeat across until 1 loop remains on your hook. You are simply going to yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Again, doing that until you have 1 loop on your hook. Alright, and this is what your work should look like at the end of row 1. As you can see, we have now created what are called vertical bars. Before we begin, I just want to remind you that the loop on your hook does count as the first stitch, so we will not be working into that first vertical bar. Instead, we will start in the next vertical bar. As you can see, there are 2. There's a front vertical bar and a back vertical bar. We, for the Tunisian Simple Stitch, are going to be working around the front vertical bar. Without further ado, let's work our first stitch together. Working from right to left, place your hook under the front vertical bar. Your hook is going to stay on the right side of your work, like so. You're then going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Alright, let's work another one together. Go ahead and find the next vertical bar. Again, working from right to left, place your hook under the front vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Okay, now I want to slow down the video and really show you where my thumbs are when I'm working this stitch. I use my thumb kind of like a backboard, as you can see. I place it right next to the vertical bar, and the hook actually hits my thumb, and then I move it downward to hold onto my work. I also use my thumb that's holding the hook to hold on to the loops as I put my hook into the next vertical bar. I do want to mention that you do not have to do it exactly the way I do it. This is just after years of working this stitch, I find the most comfortable. Okay, I'm done giving my 2 cents. Go ahead and continue to work the Tunisian Simple Stitch across until the last stitch remains. Alright, I have one vertical bar left, and this is what my work looks like so far. I am now going to place my hook under 2 loops in that last stitch, like so. Once you do that, you're simply going to yarn over and pull up a loop. We are now ready for the return pass, which is the exact same that we did on the previous row. But before I remind you how to do that, go ahead and push those loops closer to the tip of your hook. Alright, to make the return pass, you're simply going to yarn over and pull through 1. You're then going to yarn over and pull through 2. Now right here, as you can see, I actually lift my finger up to slightly tighten this spot, so there's less gaps on the side, and then I continue to repeat yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So go ahead and do that until 1 loop remains. Alright, this is what your work should look like at the end of row 2. And you guys, that is it to the Tunisian Simple Stitch. You are simply going to repeat row 2 over and over and over again until you reach the desired length. If you liked this video tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to check out all my other tutorials and subscribe. I hope you have a great day and happy making!